If they don't beat UCLA, my man Helton's gone. I'll just say that right now. But when you look at this team is not performing to the talent that they have on the team. And that's just the bottom line. I don't care how young you say they are. JT Daniels, young guy, whatever. They just are not performing the way they should be. And you know how we know that, Brad? Because they're coming out in the media and they're saying it by themselves. They're saying it. And that's a problem, man.
There's talent there, but it's raw talent. And as anybody can see, there's a long way to go. And look, Clay Helton, the Sam Darnold era bought him time with this team. By them starting 1-3 with Max Brown a couple of seasons ago, he made the move to put Darnold in there. It paid off, obviously. They won the Rose Bowl. They won the Pac-12 that season, and they've been building since then. And obviously, you know, they got to the Cotton Bowl last year, came up short against Ohio State. This year it's somewhat of like a rebuild, and they're not in the category yet of being able to have a program established that they can reload players.
And if they go all the way and they win it all, arguably the best team ever in baseball, and that's over the Yankees, by the way. What do you think?
Well, I'm with you on the sense of, I mean, you got Betts, Martinez. It's crazy how they have 2 MVP caliber players on their team. When was the last time that happened, right? So that's impressive. The number of games this year as well. I don't know about one of the best of all time, but it's certainly up there. I mean, it is certainly up there for debate in the top 5, top 3.
I have to say this, though. The Boston Red Sox, they tend to get it done in the playoffs, though. When they're a postseason team to me. You know, I think the only team they really have to worry about is the Yankees. However, they got the Yankees number, and they've beat them in many series this year. I think they're just a seasoned team, and you know, when you have those seasoned teams that know how to win, they're the team that knows how to win. And
I agree.
Yeah, and I think they're a danger.
Talking a lot of gambling here, a lot of Vegas, legalized sports gambling, the big news, obviously, within the last couple of months. And how much longer till we maybe see the kiosk inside the sports stadiums, the arenas? I think we're probably getting close, right?
We're getting close. My guess is we're still a few years away, and it's going to depend on a state-by-state basis, because what the passage of the law really was it said the Wire Act does not apply to states being allowed to pass legalized sports betting. It was New Jersey that actually sued for the right to do that. So we all owe Chris Christie a thank you, of all people. But
gotta thank somebody, right?
You know, you gotta thank somebody. But really, you know, as far as the kiosks and everything, after a state legalizes it, then I'm sure there will be a more specific process by which they figure out where can you offer these things. For, you know, what are the settings where it's appropriate? How far from a school or something before you can offer a sports bet? There will be a lot of conversation like that. So I think we're a few years away, but that future you described is very much coming.
What is, for a beginner, someone stepping into the game, what is something they must know, and what is a strategy they should go by in terms of poker?
Well, poker is really a game of patience. We were talking earlier about how if you go to a casino and you play something like baccarat or blackjack roulette, the outcomes are determined really quick. The hands are played out really quick. Yeah. Poker moves much slower than that. So players who show up and try and play it at the pace of those other casino games are inevitably going to lose because they're putting way too much money in way too frequently. So they have to understand that the poker is a game of patience, and it's a game of discipline, because you'll be there for hours and you'll go through periods where you don't have very good hands, and you want to do something that is outside of what you're actually supposed to do, out of what the hand chart would advise you to do. And every time you do something like that, it costs you money. You might win money today doing it, but over the long term, if you do it 1,000 or 10,000 times, you're costing yourself money. So learning the mental discipline to always make the right play and to make a tough fold when you're already down money and you're just so desperate to try and get even on the session, those are the kind of things that aren't very specific. They're sort of vague, but are really important to doing this for a living.
We'll talk about Le'Veon Bell because we mentioned him briefly when Tony was in studio. And, the latest here, Keith, as you saw, Week 7 looks like is the timetable to return here for him. And I'm surprised, number one, why Week 7? And number two, why overall in general has he agreed to come back?
Yeah.
Surprising.
It's very surprising for me, too. So I have a lot of thoughts on this, man. I have definitely a lot of thoughts on this. I'll just say this: you're contradicting yourself, Le'Veon Bell. Like, you come out and say that you want to be the example of why people should sit out and try to get their money, but then you come back, you lose $6 million already. I think you got to ride this wave out. You know, if we had said, we broke it on Story on Behind the Mic, they said he won't come back unless he get a certain amount of money. Remember, we had said that.
And reports have come out saying that Pittsburgh is maybe open to it, or I don't know if it's more so that, or if it's more so his people on Bell's side is putting out pure optimism.
Yes, but the thing is this: for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got to think about this for a second. Here's a guy who's been out the whole time. He's been trashing you over social media, saying smart comments. And then you got a Connor who's been playing his tail off and playing well. Now you bring Le'Veon back. You put him right in the lineup. I don't know. I think this is going to be a divided locker room. I think yes, it is. And also divided. I think this is a possible trade. I think Le'Veon Bell may be gone. I think they're bringing him back and they're going to trade him.
Behind the mic,
baby, what's going on?
Behind the mic, KBC Radio. We're here with Deontay Wilder.
Well, you can't have the two big boys in here for long, man. There ain't enough space up in here. There ain't enough space.
And what's this fight about? One word. What do you sum it up to be?
Legacy. Legacy. You got the lineal champion with the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. You know, so it don't get no better than this. I think we are the best in the world. I got rid of the second best in the world. That was Luis Ortiz. I do feel he's the second best. Nobody don't want to fight this so-called old man still. Tyson Fury is right behind him. There's no better person that we could have gotten than Fury, you know? Not only have I beat one killer, but I'm coming right back for you guys. I just beat a killer in March. I'm coming back in December to do the same thing. No one's doing what I'm doing in this heavyweight division, and it's about that time. America need to know, and they need to see who is their heavyweight champion of the world. There can only be one champion, one face, one name. You go by the name of Deontay Wilder.
Stephen Espinoza came in just a few minutes ago, and he told us how, you know, before Wilder was trying to do the whole negotiating things with Anthony Joshua, you stepped in and you just said, hey, you know, apologize that didn't happen. Now I want to fight you, Wilder. I mean, that's huge because a lot of people say that, you know, a lot of fighters run, you don't run.
I don't run and I don't fear nobody.
What do you think in terms of this division? Do we need more of that from the heavyweight division?
100%. You know, I believe the bigger they are, the bigger pussies they are today. And they've all got something to really, really prove. They all should step up and fight. They've been taking so long to make fights. I made this fight in 5 minutes. If any fighters really want to fight each other, they will. Like me and Deontay Wilder really want to fight each other. These fights have been made very, very quick between us. No big, long, drawn-out negotiations. It was done instantly, done.
Hey, man, best of luck going forward.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Nick Saban has made some headlines within the last day or two. You probably saw this. He's sounding off on the Alabama student section and their lack of attendance at some of the prior Alabama home games here recently. And look, he probably saw the whiteout at Ohio State versus Penn State versus Ohio State last week.
That's
in
exactly
State College.
What he saw.
And he was disappointed that they don't have that in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, that's exactly what he saw. Come on, Saban, really? Really, Brad? Really?
Oh, he's serious.
You're really going to go there with the student section and everything? You just need to focus on your team being number one and continue to win games, and that's it. It's so funny that when you look at things, this is so funny about Saban. Saban's always the type of guy when you're in press conference and interviews that he's like always about his team and, well, we're focused on the next game. We're moving on to this game. We're moving on to this game. But you start attacking your student body because you don't have enough people at the game. Can you get out of here with that, man? Like, really?
I think he tries to, even maybe indirectly sometimes, I think he tries to stir up the pot.
Yes.
Because he does get bored of the same questions day after day after day.
You know why he gets bored? He gets bored because of that boring schedule he has on that team.
That could be part of it.
You know, you get bored when you're playing Arkansas and, you know,
the Raging Cajun.
Raging Cajuns.
Louisiana Lafayette.
You know?